Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
And away we go. Welcome to show number 2789. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, Wobbin Fox, and my cock. And in the men's room. On tap today, a very special announcement concerning Men's Room Red Festival. The return of Ted versus the FCC. It's a Bad Joke Friday, bitches. Get ready to play Profile This. Plus headlines, a men's room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Click, clack, drinking and drunk. Shut up. Here we go, 500,000 smoke detectors recalled because they don't detect smoke. A Florida man steals fish by putting them down his pants and his underwear. He did soak. In Colorado, tragedy as 24-foot tall T-Rex burns to the ground. Man forgets anniversary in his face his wife decided to pound. And man wins a $100,000 settlement in the Bronx, then gets robbed by 3 hookers. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, we've all had the experience. You walk into your home, you walk into work, you walk wherever. And there's a smell that just should not be there. That's probably not a good smell, but you need to find the source. People in a very large area of eastern Florida, apparently there's a stink going around there that no one can quite figure out. Put it this way, there are 5 different official jurisdictions looking into this. This smell is stretching from one side to the other. The thing is, the people that live in the area, they say it's not that the smell is anything new. They just say that this time it's, quote, more pervasive, and no one can figure out what it is, but it doesn't smell good. Now, the working theory, some people suspect it might be from what they're calling an illegal manure dumping operation. And that makes sense, because manure, face it, just poop. Most people agree the poop smells bad. It smells so bad that it gets blamed for everything. There's a prison in California, guards and inmates both. They blamed a sewage leak for the stank that just wouldn't go away for days. Yeah, it turns out there was no sewage leak. There was, however, a dead body. An inmate lay dead in his cell for days. We further realized that he was dead and responsible for the stink. He was the bad smell. But that's the thing that we want to talk about today, man. The smell. Some smells much more memorable than others, and who knows the reason other than you. So today's question is very simple. What's the one smell you will never forget?
Be part of the big show. Call 844-999-HOLA. You can like The Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to themensroom@mensroomlive.com. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitch, hola. You have entered the men's room.
Hola, bitch, hola, and away we go. Welcome to show number 2789 with a large and a charge program that we have for you today. Man, oh man, it's a guaranteed future repeat. First of all, we have a very special announcement coming up concerning Men's Room Red Festival. We have a date, we have a time, we have a location. Men's Room, the director of all things important, Brian Thorpe's going to come in here and make that very special announcement coming up. So we do have an announcement concerning Men's Room Red Festival. Bigger and better this year. The return of Ted versus the FCC is coming up. Bad jokes as well. Another round of Profile This. And, of course, we will drink and toast with the shot of the day. And today we're going to talk about smells. And there are a few stories here, including a very mysterious smell.
Smell it.
That has, I guess, enveloped. What is the right word?
That's probably the right word.
It's a swath. It's a large area of Florida, and it's by the beach, and this involves 2 or 3 different communities, and they still don't know what that smell is. We'll bring you that story. We have the story of an inmate who was dead in a Southern California cell for days, as staff blamed that on a faulty sewer.
It should be pointed out that the guy that died, he had a cellmate.
Some, Jesus.
Wow. Oh, yeah. He had a cellmate.
Some towns are worse than others. Louisville, for a long time in Kentucky, has had an odor problem. And
like horse or otherwise?
All kinds of odors. And that was the interesting part about this. Residents have been complaining. So a 17-year-old kid, he went and he actually developed an app that tracks odor complaints in the Louisville area, to the tune of one area at a pork plant agreed to pay $125,000 for 5 years worth of odor complaints.
Damn.
Just based on this kid's app that he collected all this data from all of the different complaints. So, and then believe it or not, a writer named Jessica Lindsay, and this is over in England, she says, as far as farting is concerned, she has some information on why we fart, how to fart properly. Did you know that there is a proper way to fart?
Any way you want to fart's the proper way to fart.
And why other people's farts smell worse than yours. Now, apparently back in the day, before things were a little bit more civilized, and we did not wear clothing, it was pretty common to spread disease to other people from your anus through farting.
Well, you still could, you know.
You still technically could.
I mean, we're wearing clothes now, so that changes.
I know, but it doesn't stop anything you're doing in here. That's for sure.
No, not at all.
The clothing is not even a remote factor in that. But that was that's true. So back in the day,
the devil's cough.
It was kind of known that you did not fart around other people because you might get them very sick.
You're telling me people that didn't wear clothes didn't fart around each other?
No, so they probably did. Kept spreading disease.
Yeah.
You know, the pink eye and everything that goes along with that.
And eventually,
some bacterians finally like, hey man, you gotta put on pants, bro.
That's it. So today we're going to talk about smells, and you always know that one smell that you will you'll never forget, and it doesn't have to be a bad smell. It can be a good smell. It could be a good smell.
It could be.
You know, like I told you the other day, man. Anytime I smell grass being cut for the first time, I think about two-a-days, and I don't know why I have that in my head. But the smell of fresh cut grass is not a bad smell.
Oh, it's great.
But you don't like it. It makes you angry.
It does make me angry. The smell.
So even a good smell doesn't mean you're happy about it.
I have a negative response to it, right? Like I know
the worst thing that can happen.
It's been long enough.
Yeah, it has been, but I still smell that smell. I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to get my head bashed in again now for like a month until we start playing.
That's why I hope nothing bad ever happens to me at a bakery.
Right?
I never want fresh bread to suck. You know?
No, exactly. Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, come on, man! It's been like 20-some years.
I still
enjoy the grass again.
I still can't get that thought. I mean, as soon as I smell it for the first time, I'm like, oh god! And I think about carrying a cooler full of food and throwing up at lunch. You know what I mean? Like it's like that's the feeling I have when I smell fresh grass, and that's a terrible thing.
Yeah, everybody else likes it.
Okay.
It's spring. It's a time of renewal. The sun's going to come out. Things are going to be warm. People think vacation. Miles is like, I hate the smell.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
I hate the way a baby's head smells.
And you know what, man? It might be the fact, too, that I had to cut grass every weekend growing up.
Well, sure.
As a kid. So that was another thing. Like, I hated cutting grass.
No,
it took like 3 or 4 hours.
After enough time, I'm just like, I don't know. You can enjoy it again.
No, yeah, I can't do it.
I used to be a landscaper.
Yeah.
So like now, I thoroughly enjoy the smell of grass.
But you got to ride on the back of one of those really nice, like $1,000 units. I'm pushing like a snapper that cost $150 that won't even move on its own. Sucked. Got clogged all the time.
Yeah, but you got to kill bunnies doing it.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite smells, and I smelled it the other night, was not the actual barbecue smell, which is a great smell too, when you get the meat on there and everything, but just the initial smell of someone lighting up some charcoal briquettes.
But generally, it's a good thought.
Yeah, just
even if it
the briquettes
smelled
themselves.
horrible, even if it smelled like cooking chitlins, but at the end of it, you just know that they're going to cook delicious meat. It makes the smell more palatable.
Right.
I think it smells different times of year.
For sure, you got the fireplace in the fall, right? Like your first crisp night, all of a sudden in the air.
I mean, just grilling for whatever reason. Maybe just my attachment to college football. I just think fall grills smell the best.
Would you guys? Yeah, that's true. As far as food goes, would you buy a crock pot scented candle? No. Basically, because I think that's one of the greatest smells in the world. There's
because you know you're going to eat.
Yeah, I know, but it's been cooking all day. It's 8-7 hours of whatever it is. As soon as you open up the door, that's one of the great things about a crock pot. It doesn't get, they don't sell it right. Like the idea of, you could put chili in there, no matter what. You could cook any standard thing, any other way in your home, and your home will not smell the same as if it does if it cooks all day in a crock pot. And you open up the door and you come in, man, and you're just like, oh my God, like, it smells great in here. Whatever the hell it is, you can't mess it up. You cannot mess it up. It's going to be delicious. One of my favorite smells of all time. So, what was the one smell that you'll never forget? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Luke. Welcome to the men's room.
Bitches.
Hola.
Hola.
Hola. Hey, so the worst smell I've ever smelled was gangrene. I was working for a restoration company, and we had a job. Our boss wouldn't tell us what it was, so we go up to the second floor of this apartment building. It's like, all right, man, brace yourself. It's going to be bad. So he opens up the door. As soon as I walk through that door, my eyes start watering. I take one breath, I run back out, and I puke in a fake plant. Turns out this lady'd been up in this apartment for 2 years having gangrene, not really taking care of it, had some flesh in the shower, and...
you mean like literally her body's falling off?
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly.
And she's alive?
Yeah, actually, they took her to the hospital once they figured out what the smell going through the building was, and put her in some rehab and on some treatment.
Rehab?
I guess she came out of that.
What do you do? Like, you dunk somebody in a bathtub?
I mean, like...
I mean, what do you do? And then
So
you can't bathe too long because then all the more chunks will start falling off.
So gangrene, what? Just, I guess it's a flesh-eating disease then, and your skin literally falls off?
Yes.
But it falls off in big enough chunks that it can start rotting and actually start stinking that bad.
It was really, really, really bad. And right where she would sit in her chair, like, we had to rip out all the carpet. We had to demo a lot of it. But where she was sitting in front of her chair, the hardy plank board was actually getting really soft from it.
What, from her juices?
Yeah.
I mean, like, what is coming off of this woman? Is it like an oil, or what is it, like a pus thing, or what?
Well, from what I understand, it's, flesh-eating disease, so the flesh and all the bacteria and the goop that comes off of it is landing on the carpet.
I can't believe a person could be alive and just sit there and, like...
How could that not bother you?
Yeah, you got
I
parts of your
understand,
body
like,
dripping off, and, like, why wouldn't you call somebody and say, like, hey, I guess she wasn't all, everything wasn't connecting upstairs, right?
Yeah, well, when we went to the apartment, we actually seen a ton of boxed wine, empty ones, tons and tons and tons of them. I mean, her entire bedroom, like, stuffed under the bed, sitting on shelves, on top of her bed.
You'd have to think she got it delivered, right?
More likely.
She's not leaving the house with goop dripping off of her, like a finger falling off when she's at the Bevmo.
But I mean, like, I've had a headache for 2 days. People, you should go see a doctor. Well, I'm not going to see a doctor. But, like, hey, man, I took a shower and a pound of flesh. Like, I'm going to go see a doctor. How long could you just sit in that state knowing you're, like, disintegrating, soaking through a chair, man?
What, do you remember the variety of wine she bought?
It was just that box wine, the white box. It starts with a V. Just red wine out the box.
All right. It sounds to me like she should do a commercial for him.
It's so good, I ignored the flesh-eating bacteria.
Some light piano music, you know what I mean? There she is, like, sitting in the chair, just kind of disintegrating underneath herself. And she's there for a delicious Pinot Grigio.
Said that they had to complain for almost 2 years.
A lot of people be concerned about gangrene, but not Sheila. Thanks to new Vineyards Box Wine, she's been disintegrating for 3 years. Look at that, chunks of her flesh right there in her shower. The smell doesn't matter because this wine is that good. Feel free to binge watch Netflix while you disintegrate and die in your own chair.
Please drink responsibly.
Exactly.
Only for ages 21 and up.
Right. Please drink responsibly. No underage drinking.
Old box wine.
Good God.
Yeah, I think box wine. Apparently, it's pretty decent as far as the whole.
I've heard it. Can't tell the difference.
But
with the wine.
Wait a minute.
She's sitting in a chair disintegrating. You're like, I'm sure the wine is decent.
It's not about the box wine. It's just about.
Are you criticizing her taste?
No, I'm saying what it represents. Like, there's nothing wrong with boxed wine. I'm sure it's just fine. But it's like drinking beer from a 40 or drinking beer just like out of a bottle or a can. There's more beer there, It
makes sense.
I like a 40. Don't get me wrong. It just has this stigma about it, when you drink box wine or you drink from a 40 or whatever.
But I think box wine's a little different, especially now. There's like decent wine. There's a lot of wines that come in boxes.
Sure.
Right. Like
I know. I'm right there with you.
What's the real tiny little pints? What are those? Like the kind you can put in your coat pocket?
Yeah, the airplane minis or something.
No. Like the
bottles?
One step up. Yeah, the flat ones. You know,
flask?
Yeah, it's basically
Like a pint.
Like a pint size, right? I mean, if you're buying liquor by the pint, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like,
but I understand you're
well, buying liquor by the pint, you're right, is different because for whatever reason,
I'm carrying this on me.
I understand. I'm an alcoholic.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to need this during the course of my workday. That's 40, why it's in my suit.
The 40, the pint, and the box wine, they're all in their own club.
The 40 says, I plan on getting some fresh air, and I'm sitting outside tonight, and I want beer, and I don't feel like getting it. I understand the box wine because you're saying, man, I really like wine, and per bottle is like 5.5 glasses? Complete ripoff. But all of that said, I do feel like whether I'm drinking a handle of Jack Daniels, 40-ounce malt liquor, have my flask, that over a period of 3 years when my skin's falling off, I'm like, at some point, you know what? I'm going to put down the hooch. I'm going to call my doctor.
Well, you hope, but I think that might be, I mean, you're right.
You say she was so drunk for so long that in spite of the fact that she's kind of disintegrating, right, for lack of a better term, she's like, I don't care.
I don't think she didn't care. I think she just said, I'll get to it. You know, or like, I'll go next time. I'm going to keep drinking this wine.
I'll get to
stay buzzed.
What was one smell that you will never forget? 844-999-OLA.
By the way, I think box wine gets a bad rap.
I do too.
Because if they put more beers in 40s, a lot more people would drink 40s.
Right. More beers that you would choose to drink.
Right, like, I don't want to drink, at my age now, I don't want to drink malt liquor unless it's very specific and my buddy's like, we're kind of having we're drinking malt liquor.
Right.
So I don't want to drink malt liquor, but I don't know. If there was light beers available on a 40, I don't know if I'd be.
We used to buy them, Budweisers or whatever they would have.
You'd have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to drink at least 40 ounces of beer, so if I can do it in one container, that's perfect.
Yeah. And who doesn't drink beer with a screw-on cap? What was the one smell that you'll never forget? 844-999-OLA.
Well, the difference with a 40, knowing you're going to drink outside, part of the reason you have the screw-on cap is because when the cops inevitably come and ask you to leave and stop sitting on the front steps to say 7-Eleven, they don't want you to spill it. You can put your lid back on. It's about being mobile when you have a 40.
Good point.
Yeah.
You're not going to be in one place. You're going to be outside, but you're not going to be in one place.
Or I remember the other trick we used to do was you put a can in a paper bag, then drink it through a straw, which was never that.
Listen.
You put a can...
Put a can of beer in a paper bag.
Here's the giveaway.
Through a straw.
If you're drinking your drink in a paper bag, everyone knows it's because people are cool to drink anything in front of you that's not booze. You know, at the bus stop, like if a guy's drinking a Coke, he'll drink a Coke. If he rolls up to the bus stop and it's in a paper bag, and he's got, it's like, I know it's booze. You just don't want to look that bad.
I can tell you firsthand, it does not work at Times Square.
What was the one smell that you'll never forget? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Corey. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So I've been a cable guy for about 18 years now, and I was out in Rochester, and I had a partner with me this day, and we came up to a customer's house, and we had noticed we had just had lunch together too. I'll get into that later, but so we just got done with lunch. We show up to this person's house. I kind of noticed that there was actually, it looked like mud being tracked out of the house. Whereas, in a kind of a farmhouse setting, you would see mud getting tracked into the house. Maybe it was just kind of thing I noticed, and I'm going, why is it being tracked out? We opened up the door, and there was actually like a light brown layer over everything, and you couldn't even see the floor. I'm like, what the heck? And then my buddy Alberto just threw up his McDonald's. You could see like parts of fries and chicken nuggets like all off the patio right in front of the lady. What a waste. He has Crohn's, so he's got a kind of, he gets an upset stomach really easy, so he just immediately puked, right? And I didn't know why he puked. I'm like, what? And then I caught the whiff of it, and it was like the strongest ammonia smell / poop. I've just never smelled anything like it.
What, like a bad cat litter box kind of thing?
Worse. I mean, to where it hit you, it smacked you in the face and like immediately made your eyes water. And I'm going, what in the heck? And I look and I see the floor. Like I said, I saw the floor all brown, and I'm going, I looked up and I see like a rat's tail coming out of a cupboard in the kitchen.
Oh, no.
And then I look around even more and I see a rat on top of the cupboard, a rat on the counter. I look into the living room. There's a rat on the recliner. And these aren't like wild rats. These are domesticated. Like they're like white and brown. And,
did they order the cable? I mean, my God.
So, and I'm going, what? And I'm going, what in the heck? This place is probably, if I do a 360 turn, I could probably see 50 rats all over the place.
I mean, the place was moving with them.
Have you seen
And I'm
the
like,
homeowner
what
yet?
in the heck is going on?
Did the homeowner
And the
answer
lady
the
said-
door?
I don't even know how the homeowner was living there. It was just a little old lady by herself, and my buddy Alberto couldn't even handle it. He left. We were contracting, so I don't get paid unless I get the job done. So I'm like, all right, let me go outside and see how easy this job's going to be, and I'm going to bang this job out. But what the heck is going on here? And the lady who explained herself, I guess her son that had moved out he had 2 pet rats, and one was male, one was female, and they got out.
Yeah, but 2 rats love each other,
And boom, she's got rats all over. And I don't know if she's got a mental problem or what. She didn't do anything about it. These rats are literally taking over her house.
Now, let me ask you, do you feel obligated to try to get in touch with somebody or call somebody or do a welfare check?
This woman's going to be eaten by rats.
Because you might be one of the only people who have been in that place that wasn't a relative or somebody who also wasn't crazy for, a year. Like, do you feel like responsible? Like, who do you call? Like, do you call, like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do? Like,
if I would have seen a kid in that environment, I definitely would have made it a point to call.
The rats ate him already, man.
Yeah, he's going long gone.
If you'd only gotten there a day before. You said between 8 and noon.
You ever have somebody like that?
He was gone by 10.
You ever have anybody just answer the door naked or any other weird stories like that from your experience as a cable guy?
18 years of doing cable, I've never seen anybody come to the door naked.
You know what? I'm going to call you soon. You come over. I will open the door naked for you.
How about sex toys on the coffee table?
I've seen sex toys. I've caught people smoking crack when I came around the corner. That was in Hilltop, Tacoma. I've walked in a bedroom that they knew I was walking in and out of doing work, and I caught the wife getting dressed, and she was in her bra and panties. But that's the worst. And she was, oh my gosh. But,
oh my gosh, what's your name?
I can't believe you're in here, even though I called you.
Oh, I'm distressed.
Yeah.
What was the one smell that you'll never forget? 844-999-OLA. Hold the line, more your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
It might not be polite to enter conversation, but farting is something we all do. According to doctors, we need to release gas at least 10 times a day, which may seem like a lot. However,
no.
If you're keeping it to under 22 farts a day, you should be otherwise healthy. So what they're saying is if you fart more than 22 times a day, that's not good. Study of farting is known as
bad?
Flatology.
Flatology?
Flatology.
Like flatulence.
22 times seems like a lot.
It is.
It does. Even for me, that's a lot.
Have you ever counted your farts?
I've never counted my farts. Mostly I haven't counted that high. But look, I mean, with me, I probably fart the same number as people. I just like to make a big deal out of it. But I know it's going to make me fart. So, again, being lactose intolerant. If I'm going to eat a bowl of cereal or drink milk or, hell, was it clam chowder? I love clam chowder. And for whatever reason, in those moments, I forget that it's predominantly cream.
Yep.
I enjoy it. And then an hour later, it's like, look, I'll fart 22 times in an hour.
They say you might experience increased flatulence when you're menstruating, when you've eaten certain foods, or if your intestines are stimulated, and that can be triggered by muscle movements or something like a cough. Most of some sort of smell to them. And this, believe it or not, can be affected by how well you chew your food.
Huh, okay.
Apparently the key of farting is the undigested food that's left in your digestive tract, and that will make your fart smell even worse.
I'm going to start swallowing meatballs whole.
And they say the average fart is made up of oxygen, nitrogen, methane, and sulfur is the worst smelling of these gases. So some people make more of that naturally, which is why their farts smell the worst. So here are some pointers on how to reduce sound or smell.
I don't want to do either of those. Like part of the joy, and this is just me, when it comes to farting, is both the sound and the smell. Like I don't want to reduce those things.
To reduce sound or smell, they say release it slowly. Choose a seat with a soft surface if you have to sit down. Lean your weight on one buttock to separate them before you fart.
One cheek sneak.
And if you have to, purchase noise and smell canceling underwear such as Shreddies. They say to
noise canceling?
Yes, Shreddies.
New from Bose.
To fart less, cut down on foods which make this worse. Some people find that dairy, according to the study, gives them gas. Cut down on alcohol, carbonated consumption. Chew your food slower so you swallow less air. And other reasons you might swallow air include chewing gum, smoking, or perhaps reducing just those three things. They do say if you need to relieve yourself of gas, try yoga. The child's pose should help.
What is the
child's pose, Ted?
Do you know it?
Yeah.
What is it? I don't know. Can you do... All right, hang on.
What? Oh, isn't that dog down? Isn't that dog down?
Wait, is that
Okay, I don't know. They say exercise regularly if you want to fart more. Give yourself a light
Don't
abdominal massage.
that picture should be up soon.
They say
So
if
downward dog, you see like Mike there, your butt's still up.
So the kid's position, what you're like, hands and
Right,
knees.
all right, look, I'll be dead honest with you. I do some hot yoga. I used to. I'm terrible at it. So I spend a lot of the time.
looking at other people, see what they're
No,
doing.
you spend most of the time just like this.
Like, oh, God, they're going to die.
Okay. I don't want to die.
Well, yeah, that'll make you fart.
They say if you gently rub your belly button, you can fart. Oh, you need high fiber foods.
I'll be rubbing it all day.
That's it. Yeah. Everyone smells different due to your own personal mix of gut bacteria. So you can determine whether it's yours from smell alone. And one of the things they say is, yes, we all enjoy the smell of our own much better than everyone else's. Our question, what was the one smell that you'll never forget? 844-999-OLA.
I enjoy them better than other
I
people's.
don't enjoy them. I don't honestly enjoy it. Look, I had this problem yesterday in the office, all right? So 9 times out of 10 when you fart, it smells like your fart. Your fart smell the way your fart smell. And they can go a few degrees one way, a few degrees the other, but essentially it's your smell. And yesterday, I was telling Castle this, I said it's like a ventriloquist fart, where you feel like somebody farted out of your butt because the smell that came out, I'm like, my farts never smell like this. And this is weird. It smelled like if you spilled milk and then you cleaned the milk up with a rag, but then you never rinsed the rag out. You know what I mean? Like that smell?
Yeah.
Kind of like it smelled like that. And I'm like, that's weird because it came out of my butt, and my butt does not make that smell. Like, generally, there's an entire, like, even you guys would say, hey, man, that doesn't smell like you. I know you guys know what my farts smell like because I fart so much around you.
Yeah, it's amazing we don't get sick.
You're right, though. You know it's something, like for me, oftentimes it's going to be a Sunday morning. I've had a lot of beverages on a Saturday, but just that smell, like, wow. That is even horrible for me.
Something is wrong.
Something's wrong. I got to poo soon.
Right.
And I hope it's a lot. What was the one smell that you'll never forget? 844-999-OLA.
We got a couple of comments here as far as the smell you'll never forget. And this guy says, I'm a veterinary technician. The short answer is, there's 3 of them, anal glands, abscesses, and parvo. Now, I've never done the anal gland thing, and I know
all
a lot
you
of
need to
people,
know is this.
I mean, it's an anal gland, bro, so it's not like you're going to shock me that it smells bad.
When my dog needs to have her anal glands expressed, she will leave a little bit of that like on the sheet of the bed.
Oh, no.
And
No.
You have to change the sheets immediately. You can smell it as soon as you walk into the room.
You have to do it?
Whoever smells it, you better do it because you don't want to lay there.
I mean, no, not wash your sheets.
Oh, can I stick my finger in her butt?
Express her anal glands.
I don't know how to do that. And if I did know how to do that, I would tell you I did not know how to do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
I mean, even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you that I knew.
Well, no, Castle does it. So he has bulldogs.
No, he doesn't.
He has, man. Yes, he has. Because he has bulldogs, all right? And bulldogs have all kinds of health issues, whatever.
He is not expressed
And
his
the
own
anal
dog's
glands, man, I've talked to the dude where he's like, it sucked because you take the dog to the vet, they tell you whatever, and they say, look, you have to express the anal glands, and we did it for you here, but it's something that's going to come back. So he's like, basically, he and his wife sit around for a week, like, I'm waiting to have to, quote unquote, express my dog's
wonder
anal
Roxy
glands.
never leaves his side. He
No
sticks
kidding.
his finger in his.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've met more people that do it to their own dog.
They have an unusually close
I think it
bond.
depends on the dog.
No, it does not. It depends on the person. It depends on the person. Because I don't care what dog you give me, I'm not doing it, man.
I mean,
they will be expressionless anal glands. I'm sorry. I don't love you that much.
What was the one smell that you'll never forget? 844-999-OLA.
The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.